Pain heals. Chicks dig scars. Glory lasts forever.
Welcome back to the channel. Thank you so much for checking out this video. Appreciate it as always. Hope you're having a fantastic day. Shout out to the 19. We are going to talk a little bit about WNBA power rankings and the Indiana Fever and Caitlin Clark's shot at a WNBA championship. As you can see by this headline, this is fansided.com. WNBA power rankings show Caitlin Clark Fever still have a long way to go. No, Chelsea's opinion wants you to believe that they have a long way to go. This is this is going to be what's interesting. I think you see a lot of this. We saw, Fever are a super team, or the Fever are trash and got a bunch of overrated vets. They all wanted Aliyah Boston out, like they were big fans, protect Aliyah Boston. They wanted Kelsey Mitchell out, protect Kelsey Mitchell. She's the best player on that team, was said a lot. And then now, of course, the Kelsey Mitchell has voluntarily re-signed. It's, oh, she's not that good. And here's what you're going to get at the end of the season. I promise you this. If the Fever win, it will be a super team that carried Caitlin Clark. If the Fever don't win WNBA championship this season, it will be Caitlin Clark is such trash, she couldn't even take a super team to a title. I promise you, it's heads, they win, tails, you lose. That's what it's going to be. But I wanted to go dig into this a little bit and talk about the upcoming season and power rankings because it seemed like a good place to start. I wanted to do a more of a deep dive on a video myself a little later on, but as you can see, we've got, and they don't give a lot of detail on each one. So I just wanted to run through this a little bit, talk about the Indiana Fever, and then a couple of the teams that they have ahead of them that I'm like, well, we'll see. We've got the Liberty, hey, defending champs. I get it. They replaced Vandersloot, brought in Tasha Cloud. They have a solid team. Stewart, Jones, and Nescu all back. I get it. Minnesota Lynx, I get it. The Aces, really? The Aces, are we sure about that? We're going to get into that a little bit. The Phoenix Mercury at number 4. The Phoenix Mercury, we're going to get into that as well. I mean, Sophie Cunningham's gone, Diana Taurasi's gone, Brittany Griner's gone, but they have gone from 7 to 4. The Seattle Storm have moved to number 5. So that's interesting as well. And then here we go. Look at this, all the way down at number 6. All the way down to by the way, number 6 is where they were Caitlin Clark's rookie season. So let me get this straight. During the rookie season, we had the Indiana Fever started 1-8. 1-8. They went 19-12 the rest of the way. They did this with players that seemed, at least early on, and I still think it's true for some of them, that just didn't want to play with Clark. They were sabotaging it. We had all the dropped passes. We had all the missed layups. We had teammates that just were not protecting her. We had Christy Sides, who was an awful, awful head coach who seemed very much to be limiting what Caitlin Clark could do. They had a roster of, let's just say, less than talented roster. Okay, we had early on, we had Christy Wallace starting and playing a lot. Katie Lou Samuelson was playing a lot. Erica Wheeler was playing a lot. Okay, this team had not even really, to be fair, a starting 5, let alone enough depth to do anything. But they still, despite all of those obstacles, went from 1-8, finished 19-12, got the 16 at 20-20. Lexi Hall, I know some people take this the wrong way. I love Lexi Hall. I think she's a talented player. I think she offers a lot to a team, and she still has upside, right? Lexi Hall has not hit her prime. Lexi Hall right now is not someone who should be a starter on a championship winning team. But she was, and she played a huge role in what they did down the stretch, which just goes more to my point. They had Kelsey Mitchell, Aliyah Boston, and Caitlin Clark were basically the only legit starters. They had Dantas, who I'm very high on, but right, she played about half the season. She did it, I think, above what is her ideal playing weight. We saw that recently with how she looks now, coming back from a serious injury. She wasn't herself. But as the season went on, as she came back and her season went on longer and longer, she got better and better, right? We had Erica Wheeler, who, no shade to Erica Wheeler, but really, so despite all of those limitations and all, you had Temi Fagbenley, who was one of the few players early on who sort of got the Caitlin Clark effect as a player, as how she could elevate her teammates. But then Temi got hurt, came back, got hurt. After that initial start, where unfortunately she was the only player playing well and they weren't winning games, she never really was that Temi again the rest of the season because it was fits and starts with injuries that seemed to go on for a lot longer than we expected him to be. And yet, despite all of that, they got to 20-20 and they were number 6. So that was the number 6 team despite all of those. And now in the off season, Wheeler is gone. Wallace is gone. Katie Lou is gone. Other players are gone too, but those are 3 that actually played significant minutes for the team. Fagbenley is gone. And again, no shade to Temi, but it was a necessary thing in order for the team to grow. So they're all gone. Christy Sides is gone. And I have my reservations about Stephanie White. She has to show me, not just tell me. But do I think she is a better coach in general than Christy Sides? Absolutely. Right. Melissa Smith is gone. That is an upgrade by subtraction, right? All those players that played significant minutes but were not very good for the Indiana Fever are all gone. In their place, we have Dewana Bonner, who was on the All-Star team last year. Natasha Howard, who is a double-double player. I don't know. It's hard to put a number on the individual stats this year with the way this team is constructed because some of these players might be better than they were last year, but their numbers might be down, right? Like even someone like Aliyah Boston. Okay, we've got Caitlin Clark who's going to be better this year. Aliyah Boston should be better this year. Kelsey Mitchell had a career year last year, and she could be better this year because she is just entering her prime. Then we brought in Dewana Bonner, brought in Natasha Howard, right? And Alyssa Smith is not starting. Lexi Hull will not be starting. Brought in Sophie Cunningham. Not only did we completely upgrade the starters, we added depth, which is an upgrade. It's an upgraded roster from top to bottom, right? Damiris Dantas is going to be a better player than she was last year. Sophie Cunningham is most likely going to. I mean, think about that. Just these 3 off the bench: Sophie Cunningham, Lexi Hull, Damiris Dantas. Dantas is going to be better than she was last year, right? Is that a better bench than they had last year? So their starting 5 is better. Their coaching is better. Their bench is better, right? We have that depth. Look, I would again, I keep saying I would rather have Grace Berger, but do I think Sydney Colson in the limited minutes is an upgrade over Erica Wheeler? Absolutely. Absolutely. Right? Michaela, I mean, the rookie coming in, we'll say, a lot of people are high on her, and I get why. She may add significant minutes as well. So that is absolutely a much, much better team. There is no one other than insane people who would say that the Indiana Fever are not a much better team than they were last year, right? So let's look at just a couple of these teams I want to look at. Let's look at Phoenix, right? Phoenix jumped from 7-4. Again, Cloud is gone. Cunningham's gone, Tarasi's gone, Griner's gone. Yes, they added Satu Sabali. Now, what was one of the major things I stressed with her when they didn't get her? And I said, hey, you know what? This isn't as bad as we might have thought. First of all, the more I saw her in Unrivaled, the less impressed I was. But also, and I said this right up front, she's injury prone. She's never played a full season. So we'll see. Now you've got like all these players and rookies and stuff. They don't even have any stats. So Bali is like the only name most people are even going to recognize there. I know that some people say, no, well, I recognize they have Copper, but they had Copper last year. Okay. Look at this team. Celeste Taylor. I love Celeste. I hope she gets some minutes there. Alyssa Thomas. I think Alyssa Thomas has seen her best days. I don't think Alyssa Thomas is really all that impressive. I think Alyssa Thomas is part of the old school WNBA, very, very physical player. She is a good bordering on dirty. I think she's been dirty player at times. I think she is a good passer. I absolutely agree with that, but superstar? No. And then, oh, there you go. I'm not sure how this Phoenix team goes from the 7 that the team was last year with Cunningham and Taurasi and Griner and Cloud to 4 this year, right? Just not seeing it. And I just want to take a look at Seattle as well. We take a look here. Now, Seattle is not a bad team, right? NECA, you got Skylar Diggins Smith, but again, they were there. Gabby Williams, she was there. Alexi Brown. Uh, Now, the big one is Dominique Malanga, but from everything I hear, she's going to be limited because I believe she's committed to playing overseas. So I think she's may come in, what, like halfway through the season or something. And then get this, Seattle has added to Erica Wheeler and Katie Lou Samuelson, 2 players who were really not good enough to be on the Indiana Fever team, but Seattle is ranked higher in the power ranking. So make that make sense. And then we have the Aces, who, granted, they were solid last year. Big drop off from the year before. Kelsey Plum's gone, right? A lot of players left. They did bring in Jackie Young. So let's talk a little bit about Jackie Young, right? I think Chelsea Gray will be better this year, absolutely, right? It's got that was going to take time coming back from the injury that she had, so I think she'll be better this year than she was last year. She is getting older though, so we will see. But you've got Asia, Dana Evans. I mean, is that an upgrade? Really? The only big upgrade, they added Jewel Lloyd. Okay, well, let's talk about Jewel Lloyd. Jewel Lloyd, again, for me, one of those players, I call her a volume shooter, if you want to be put a positive spin on it. She's a shot chucker. Um, Enrique is a shot chucker. If we look at these numbers, now that means they are players that, yeah, absolutely can get their own shot. And if you need a bucket at the end and they are hot, you want them to play, right? They can score in buckets when they're hot, but they are shot chuckers, and you have to live with a lot of downside. And what do I mean by that? Well, there's a simple stat: points per shot attempt. So it sort of takes into consideration everything in terms of one player scoring, because you've got it, right? It takes into consideration the 2-pointer, the 3-pointer, the amount of times you get to the line, as well as your free throw shooting percentage because of the points. And it's just simply points divided by field goal attempts, right? And I won't say for sure where she ranks in that, because I think I did it kind of early in the season, and Caitlin Clark was up there when I was comparing her to the guards that have made the Olympic team. Her number is really high, just to give you an idea. But Enrique is 1.15 points. She produced 1.15 points per shot attempt last year. That, by the way, is also her career average. Jewel Lloyd, not much higher, right? 1.17 last season, 1.2 for her career. Now, to give you an idea, real quick, if we look at them, right? Asia Wilson, who I believe was first, 1.37 points per shot attempt last year, 1.35 for her career. Kelsey Mitchell, to give you an idea of a shooting guard, right? Enrique is a shooting guard. Jewel Lloyd, 1.27, significantly higher than Jewel Lloyd or Enrique. Whereas Caitlin Clark, she was not far behind Asia Wilson at 1.324 points per shot attempt. So I'm not buying that Jewel Lloyd is a huge addition to the Las Vegas Aces to rank them where they're ranked. We'll have to see how Jewel Lloyd and Asia Wilson play together. Maybe Jewel Lloyd gets a lot more open looks, but again, Jewel Lloyd takes a lot of shots, right? If we look at this, she took 20 shots a game last season. Now that was a career high, but her career average is still over 15 and a half shots per game. So for me, I gotta say, this is kind of an absurd take here to have the Indiana Fever in the same spot that they were last year when you take into consideration everything I just mentioned. And then you look at a couple of these teams, a few of these teams that they have ranked higher. Yeah, I'd put the Liberty up there. I would put the Lynx up there. That might be it. I'm thinking maybe Indiana's third. Maybe when I dig in a little more, maybe I think they're fourth, but they're definitely in the top 4 without a doubt, maybe top 3, right up there with the Lynx and the Liberty. So we'll see. I think it's absurd to see 6, but again, you're going to see a lot of this early on, I think. And then if they're winning, it's going to be they're a super team, and that's why they're winning. And then if they don't win the whole thing, it's well, they didn't win, even though Caitlin Clark had a super team, so she must be really terrible. But I'm gonna leave it there. Appreciate you checking out this video as always. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. I really do appreciate it. Helping the channel grow, getting the word out there. Thank you so much. And I will talk to you later. Go have the day you deserve.